Welcome to episode number 8 of Affair Root Cause and Fix. And you can check out my book entitled Affair Root Cause and Fix. You can find it on Amazon, or you can just expand this video's description and you can find a link to my book there. But also wanted to remind everyone, if you're a victim of an affair, definitely seek professional help, because it's definitely not something that you want to try to resolve on your own. It's very difficult. So we're continuing with episode number 8. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell icon, and you can watch all the previous episodes. But this is going back. So I found out that my wife had an affair with one person, but potentially could have had an affair with 2 people, and that was based upon my assembly of data that I had performed a forensic analysis of her cell phone to recover deleted text and this, that, and the other. So back to the deleted information. So person 2 of 2 I cleared as they didn't have any sort of sexual contact. So I made that. I came to a solid conclusion there based upon all the data that I had assembled. But, watch the previous episode and you'll hear how I handled that one. But person 1 of 2, that's a different animal. Even though I don't think there was sexual contact, that guy was in my wife's room at the hotel during this trade show. So, special individual there. Someone that, in the previous episode, I already told you that I got on the phone and talked to, with my wife on the phone too. So, I knew that wasn't enough, and I knew that I had to better. And again, obviously no threats or anything like that, but I knew that I had to better handle the situation. So what I did, I took all the data from my forensic analysis of the phone. I assembled a complete storyline, all their text, and everything that, when they had seen each other and this, that, and the other, but it didn't appear they had had sexual contact. That was one thing I gathered from that. And again, that was based upon the clue that this individual had to leave town and that my wife was wanting to see him, but he had already left. So I knew that, it was bad, and I had to assemble everything. So I got a lot of photos from my wife's phone, and within those photos, I found a professional accomplishment type thing. It's probably something that he had texted over to her during the trade show to try to make himself look big. It was talking about his company and the industry and this award that he had received or whatever. But the key piece of information I got from that was the company name. So I was able to research the company, found out that it was a company that he owned. I found out, where the home office was, this, that, and the other. So then I had a wealth of information, because I knew that this individual that, obviously I wasn't going to do anything that was criminal or hurtful or whatever, but I knew that I had to just tell his wife what he had done. So that was an easy way for me to find out, okay, this is the company that he owns. Now this is how I can further research this and find out who his wife is. Because he never revealed his wife's name. And then that's what I was fishing for. If you listen to a previous episode where I was asking, oh yeah, I met your wife at the show. I really liked the service that she was selling. By the way, what's her name again? He never gave that, even before he knew that I was my wife's husband. He may have had a suspicion that something was up. I mean, based upon the fact that she was calling him at 1 a.m. and there was some random guy on the phone. That was pretty strange. So, but whatever the case may be, by assembling that clue from the forensic data recovery from the phone, I was able to then further broaden my search and find his wife's name. So I knew that if I could get her contact info, I could call her up and just a very polite matter of the fact call. Hey, do you have a moment? By the way, I want to tell you something. So sure enough, I did, and I was able to locate her phone number, and it was a very nice call. It was more of a hey, you don't know me, but do you have a moment? Oh, by the way, was your husband at your husband so and so? He was at such and such trade show a few weeks ago, and she said, yeah, like that. So it was confirmation. I said, okay, well, let me tell you this story, and that's when I just went through play by play and relayed everything to her that that had transpired and how I'd pieced together the clues, and I just wanted her to know what a lousy human being that her husband was, and that was that was a good feeling, and being able to politely convey that to his wife on the phone was a very rewarding experience. Not something that I wanted to have to do, not something that I'll look back on and be proud of, because I'd like to erase all of these memories, because dealing with this affair has been a horrible experience. But it just goes to show that putting everything together, not rushing to assumptions, and not doing something that, again, if you rush to an assumption that your partner was having an affair and they weren't, that could breach your trust. At that point you falsely accused them of something that didn't happen. But in this case it did. But what were the levels? To what degree did everything happen? How far did they take this? Without being there, how would I place myself in that room during those nights to see exactly what happened? How would I do that? And that was the next piece that I had to explore, and it was it took a lot of research, and since I'd already established closure with this guy's wife, at least I had that off my plate. So now I could start to work on I could start to work on a few pieces. I could start to work to obtain the root cause. Why did this affair occur? And then I could start to work on planning and assembling the fix for the affair. So subscribe, ring that bell icon, and stay tuned, because in the next episode, we're going to get into those pieces. And be sure to check out my book. It's entitled Affair, Root Cause, and Fix. You can find it on Amazon.com, or you can just expand this video's description, and you can find a link to my book there. Thank you.